my lovelies, welcome back to another video. I'm Janique and this is A Touch of Janique, where I share my life as a recent graduate in Prince Edward Island. So I share international student content, and now I just graduated a few months ago, like 2 months ago. So yeah, I'm new to this grad life and we're gonna go on this journey together. In this week's video, we're gonna talk about things to pack when you're moving to Canada, things that I wish I knew to bring with me if you're recently accepted and got your study permit and you're planning to move to Canada for the fall or even for winter. Then stay tuned for this video. You'll want to, and get your little notepad and let's talk. Let's go through all that you need to bring, or some of the things that I recommend that you bring. Okay, let's get into the video. So first thing you're gonna need to do is check how much bags you're allowed to bring with the airline that you're traveling with. Check how much you're allowed to bring, the weight restrictions for those bags, and also the cost of those bags. Especially most people, when they're coming to Canada, they're taking more than one flights because there's only a few international airlines in Canada, and then you have to connect from those to go to wherever you're going to. A lot of people land in Toronto and then have to leave from there and go further. So if you come into PEI, you're gonna land in Toronto, Montreal, wherever, and then you got to take another flight to PEI or driver. So you need to figure out how many flights you're gonna catch, the weight restrictions for each flight, the amount that you're gonna pay for the bags for all these flights, and so on and so forth. So make sure you break down the cost, because you don't want to be paying an arm and a leg for things, you know. Double check your restrictions, double check the weight, double check the cost, double check all of those. I believe when I did Air Canada, was mine free? I believe. That was so long ago. I really don't remember. But I believe it was, I could carry a carry-on on. I had a carry-on and I had a checked bag. So I only brought 2 suitcases, basically. I had my carry-on, which was a tiny suitcase. And then I had my check-on, which was the bigger suitcase. And I also had my backpack on my back. So I had a personal item, which was my backpack that had my laptop and my documents and stuff like that in it. Be aware that when the flight is full, as was my case, the flight was full for both flights. So I ended up, when I got to the gate, they were like, do you want to check your carry-on, because the overhead baggages were full. So I did end up checking my carry-on. So keep that in mind that you might have to do that. Another tip, do not pack a bunch of unnecessary things, please, because one, you're just adding to the weight of your bag that you're gonna have to maybe pay for, and just don't do it. I did that. I'm the worst packer, so I don't even know if I'm the best person to make this video. I'm literally the worst packer, and I pack last minute, and then I pack a bunch of random things that I probably don't need. But yeah, just don't pack a lot of unnecessary things. I brought things here back in 2021 that I do not use, I never will use. Some clothes that I brought, I never wore them. Some shoes that I never put my foot in those shoes since I've been here, and I probably never will. First of all, some of those clothes probably don't even fit me anymore, unfortunately. But yeah, don't pack a bunch of unnecessary things. If you weren't wearing the clothes when you were in your hometown, I don't see why you think you need to bring it with you. That's something that somebody should have told me, because I'm like, maybe I'll wear this when I get to Canada. You didn't. You should have leave it back home. That's what you should have done. I checked in at Kingston. My bag was overweight. I had to send back stuff with my aunt that brought me to the airport. I had to send stuff back with her because I just couldn't fit it. Don't pack a lot of unnecessary things like I did. I regret it. There's stuff in my closet right now that I don't wear. I need to either save them for my sister, send them to her, or take them to the thrift store or something, because I just don't wear them and I never will. Oh, side note, guys, you see me ripping my Jamaica shirt. Somebody told me they don't like my shirt, but it is what it is. my Jamaica shirt and my flag there. It's actually Jamaica's Independence Day today. Woo! So I'm repping my colors, period. And I have to get ready soon. So I was like, I didn't upload yesterday, so I'm like, let me hurry up, film a video and put it up for you guys, because I can't leave you guys hanging. And I'm so sorry that I haven't been, in my schedule, like sticking to my schedule on Saturday 2 p.m. uploads, but I'm trying my best, guys. I'm trying my best. We move. My next tip: don't put your immigration documents in your checked bag, because you won't get your checked bag until after you pass through customs and all of that and get your study permit. Put all of those in your personal bag. And I won't elaborate on the documents now, because I'm gonna make another video. Of all the documents that they asked me for at the airport. I already have that planned out. Write down all that they asked me for, all the questions that were asked, or most of the questions that I can remember that were asked, and my process through the airport. Don't worry, I got you. I'm gonna guide you. Don't worry, I'm not gonna leave you stranded. But make sure you have all your documents in your personal bag, so it's easily accessible. Whether that's your not your carry-on, because maybe you check your carry-on, remember? Maybe they take the carry-on because you remember we said that? Okay, so make sure it's in your personal bag. So your handbag or your backpack, whatever personal bag you have. If you don't have a personal bag, just put it all in an envelope and have it in your hand. Okay, all right, we get that. That's very important. If you don't take nothing else from this video, take that. Packing tips: pack some long sleeves, like some long sleeve shirts and stuff. You can use those to layer. Okay, when it comes to winter, layering is so important, because sometimes you just have a regular shirt on and then you put your jacket all over it and you feel like you don't feel that warm. But if you layer, you feel warm. So if you have on a long sleeve under it and then the regular shirt and then the jacket, yeah, you feel better. So if you have some long sleeve shirts and some like leggings and your socks and stuff, bring those with you. You'll need them. Even if it's to wear in the house, you'll need them. And you coming in August to September, that's like end of summer, beginning of fall. I know a few people that came within the last week and they've all said it's cold. I don't find it cold now. I find it really hot still, but they have said that it's really cold for them. So, and I remember when I just got here in August, I felt really cold. So bring your long sleeve, bring your jackets, your hoodies and stuff. They might help you when you just arrive, all right? Because I find it warm, but you might not find it warm. But I'm used to this. Period. I've heard this thing so many times that clothes are cheaper in Canada and you shouldn't pack a lot of clothes. I don't think that's the case at all. I feel like clothes are expensive in Canada. You have stores like Urban Planet and Ardeen that have sales. Urban Planet mostly, that have some sales throughout, and you can find decent things in there. But besides those stores, everywhere else their costs are ridiculous. They're ridiculous. Okay, so bring clothes, bring a decent amount of clothes. Like I said, don't pack unnecessary things that you know you're not gonna wear, but definitely bring a decent amount of clothes. Because how I come up here and I didn't even bring a Jamaican shirt. I bought this in Urban Planet. Why I have to buy a Jamaica shirt in Canada? It's not adding up. Bring clothes. I feel like a lot of people think that the clothes here it's expensive. I've seen some ridiculous prices in these stores, okay? So besides Urban Planet and Ardeen, the clothes is expensive. So bring a decent amount of clothes and a decent amount of styles. I know sometimes when people move here, their styles change, and that's good because, back home you're probably not comfortable wearing certain things, but when you're here, nobody cares, so your style might change. So keep that in mind. You might not wear everything that you bring, but you have the option, all right? And speaking of clothes, bring something formal, because you might have, you're gonna look a job. Most likely you're gonna look a job, and having something formal to wear to that interview is good. Okay, yeah, bring your clothes. I remember I was in the shop in the mall and I looked at a pair of pants. It was like $80 for jeans. Be so for real. $80 for jeans. So bring one or two jeans with you. I'll admit that Urban Planet, like I said, Urban Planet is the place to shop when you're on a budget, when you're being Urban Planet, they have jeans that are reasonable priced. Like you find $10 jeans in there from time to time. So that's an option, but bring one or so. Bring a black pants. A black pants, a lot of the fast food places, like if you're gonna work in that industry, black pants is what they want, and you know it's gonna be expensive to buy one, most likely. So bring a black pants. I feel like that's essential. Bring a black pants with you. I did bring a black pants. I actually wore a black pants when I was coming here, and then when I started working, I needed a black pants, and that's what I used to work. And yeah, I needed a shoes, black shoes, and I had to buy it because I didn't bring any. Yeah, this is essential. Let me tell you, this is my emotionally support blanket. I've had it. I actually got this from my mom when I was in Cayman, I believe. Yeah, so I just took it and it's been with me since I've been here. It's literally what I sleep with every night. It's quite big. It's like a twin size. And I traveled with this blanket. I didn't put it in my bag. I just had it in my hand. And when I was on the plane, it was very, very useful, because let me tell you, when you arrive in August and it's your first time in Canada and you're coming from somewhere warm, it is cold. It is cold for you, okay? So I was cold when I first got here, and this was me the whole time on the plane. Like even when I was on the plane, I was like, this is cold. I was like, oh my god. Yeah, and when I arrived, there was no sun. It was a overcast day, so that made it worse. Yeah, this was great. So bring a little blanket. I feel like that's cool to have a blanket. It's perfect for on the plane. It's perfect for when you just arrive, you know. That's just mine. You don't have to. This is optional, but I feel like this was something that I loved and I still use it every single night. Also with the blanket, in case you have a layover, a lot of people have layovers in Toronto. I had a layover in Toronto. I stayed there overnight before I moved to PEI. And yeah, this was nice to have in the airport, because you're gonna just be there. You have your bags, so you can definitely just take something onto your checked bags. But it was nice to have this. They're good for layovers too. When you move here, there's a strong chance that you're not gonna find the food that you're used to, and that's just something you're gonna have to learn to deal with. So I recommend looking at some of the food that are allowed. Canada has a lot of restrictions of things they can bring into the country, so look at what's allowed and see what you can bring from back home. I know a lot of people bring like seasonings, like noodles. I brought Lasco because I wanted my Lasco. Yeah, I brought Lasco with me. And did I bring cereal? I brought Lasco and I brought cereal, red and white cornflakes. I brought those with me. I think that's the only food stuff I bought. I didn't bring a lot of food stuff, honestly, but I probably should have, because I was missing those things. So look at what's allowed and bring the food that you can manage to bring, and because you're gonna miss it. When you get used to the place, you might find them hidden away in some store. Definitely recommend checking like the Asian markets or stuff like that, because you might find your stuff there. But bring food, because it takes some getting used to with the Canadian food, honestly. Growing up, I've never had an issue with the food that I eat, and then when I came here, like a lot of the stuff that I ate made me feel sick, like my tummy, it upset my tummy. So I was always like super bloated, and it would literally just hurt after I eat, and it was just a mess, like ugh. And that never used to happen back home. So bring food with you. Bring some comfort food from back home. So I recommend bringing some hair with you if you're a girl, or if you're someone that wears hair, wigs, braiding hair. Heavy on the wigs, because sometimes you just don't feel like combing your hair, especially with the natural hair. I just don't feel like doing it. In the winter, it's good to just drag something on, so you don't have to, you just leave your hair in the and drag it on. And yeah, so bring hair with you. We have access to here on Amazon Canada, but the selection is not the best, and the price for some of the items are ridiculous. So, and then sometimes you have to pay import fees and duties and delivery because they ship from the US. So bring here if you can, bring here, but you can find some decent things on Amazon. You just gotta remember, you gotta pay a good amount most of the time. So because I'm the worst packer ever and I don't know how to pack, and I just throw a bunch of random things in my suitcase and hope for the best, I asked some of my friends for their recommendations for what to pack, so I'm going to read those out to you. Food, like you're from Jamaica, bring some Jamaican snacks and stuff. She said she wish she would have brought that, so definitely heavy on the Lasco, the porridge mix. So she said medication, bring your medication with you. It can be a bit costly. Bring vitamins with you. And she also said birth control, bring birth control with you. Yeah, I believe you have to get a prescription. You have to go to the doctor and get prescribed to get birth control, so it's not something you can just get over the counter like back home. So yeah, it's a whole process to get it. It's not readily available, so she said bring that. And I'll go read some more. And also mentioned tea bags. Bring tea bags, and I think that's a great idea, especially if it's something like, just bring tea bags if you want. If you're a tea person, you might not find the tea that you like, because I like a certain tea back in Jamaica and I can't find it here. I still haven't managed to find it here, which sucks because I've been craving that tea for a while now, but we're just gonna have to learn to live with it. So somebody mentioned tea bags. Another thing, adapters. Depending on where you're from, your plugs might be different than the plugs in Canada. So your appliances that you're bringing, or your laptop charger or your phone charger or whatever, it might be different than the plugs that are in Canada. So bring an adapter if that's the case, especially if you're going to other countries to layover. If you're coming from foreign, and a lot of people coming from Nigeria have to go through various different countries to get to Canada. So you might want to get an adapter for those layovers so you can charge up your devices and so on and so forth. I didn't need to get an adapter. I've never found that I needed one ever. So because the plugs that we use back home is the same one that we use here in Canada. So yeah, I don't see that I need one, but definitely check to make sure it's the same plug. So you might need an adapter for your appliances. Yeah, so that's basically it. Most of the people that I asked, like, what would you have brought or what do you recommend bringing, they talk about food from your home country. So check the restrictions, bring food, because you might need it. All right, especially you're here alone, you miss home. Eating that food might just bring you some sort of comfort. It's not a lot, but like, it'll bring you comfort. So bring your food. Check the restrictions. Those are the most important things. Don't pack a bunch of unnecessary things. Make sure you have all your documents in your carry-on, not your carry-on, your personal bag. And my next video, hopefully for next week, I will break down what I was asked at the airport. We'll see. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I tried my best to figure out what to pack, and I'm so sorry. Bring your warm clothes. I know people from the Caribbean probably don't have a lot of warm clothes because we don't need a lot of warm clothes, but bring your little hoodies, your little long sleeve shirts, because they might be good to layer with. Your little leggings, they're good to layer with. So bring those. Bring your regular clothes too, because when summer comes, it's gonna be hot and you're gonna need them. So bring everything. That's not good advice. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell button somewhere down there. Subscribe, hit that bell button, comment, drop a comment, engage with me, drop a like. You know, if you have personal questions, feel free to DM me on Instagram. My Instagram is somewhere on the screen. If you just have a regular question, you can just drop it in the comments. I respond faster in the comments than I do on Instagram. My bad. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Happy Independence to all my Jamaicans watching, and bye guys.